Welcome back to the Rouges Yanks. We talk in Canada soccer and U.S. soccer, and man, we got a lot to unpack today. As the game just finished up between the Rouges and the Yanks, the neutral battle, which in my case I'm going to be covering neutral. But what a game this was! Oh my God! I mean, who saw this result coming? Les Rouges defeating the Yanks 2-0 once again in Ontario, just like 2019. I mean, it's same thing, not even a friendly. It's something to play for. They do it again. And without key players this time, no Alphonso Davies, no Stefan Eustáquio, Hoylett coming off the bench. I mean, this is for Canada. I mean, this is huge. This is huge for them, and I'm going to talk about all that. But I mean, oh my God, we got a lot to unpack. As I mean, I didn't see this coming, honestly. Honestly, even as a neutral. I thought it was going to be like a draw, like a 1-1, 0-0, or 2-2 play. Both teams sit back and defend, or, not want to make mistakes. Or if they attack, they would just cancel each other out. No, there's a clear winner here, and it's Les Rouges. So before we get into all the stats and the standings and, what this means for both teams going forward and what it means now, let's go ahead and just break down the lineups for this team, starting with the host team, Les Rouges. Canada's starting Milan Borjan, hometown hero, of course, from Hamilton himself. You have to start him. Alistair Johnson, Samuel Adekugbe, who had a big game, by the way. Kamal Miller, Stephen Victoria, Tajon Buchanan, Mark Anthony Kay, Kyle Larin, Jonathan David, Jonathan Osorio, and Richie Larea. That's for your Canadians. And then we go to our Americans. The Yanks will start Matt Turner, Serginho Dest, Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson, Yonis Musa, Weston McKinney, Josh Zardes, which was an interesting choice for them. Given I know they had Timothy Weah being out, but Zardes taking his spot, it was really interesting, but okay. Christian Pulisic, Brendan Aronson, Miles Robinson, and Chris Richards. Oh, man. So as I said, yeah, unfortunately for the Yanks, Weah, they had to proceed in the Hamilton without one of their key figures, Timothy Weah, due to a vaccine issue. Of course, in France, he's classified as fully vaccinated, but I don't know the details. I think he only got one shot of it, so it could be Johnson or whatever the vaccine he got. He only got one dose. But however, in Canada, it's a different story, as obviously you need two, at least over here, to be qualified as fully vaccinated, maybe three soon, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to talk about, unfortunately, Weah was not able to travel with the team to Canada, to Hamilton, and play due to that vaccine issue. So that was a big loss for them coming into this. But hey, what do I always say on this channel? Next man up mentality. You gotta, whoever, pull up next one up. And in this case, it was Zardes, which was an interesting choice. For the U.S., to be fair, I'm still surprised not to see Ricardo Pepi starting. And can anyone tell me why, for any U.S. fans out there, why doesn't he start? Because honestly, he's looked pretty good, unless he kind of dropped off a bit, but I think he came off the bench today and tried to play, but Canada really shut him down. So, I mean, maybe if he would have started in the first half, maybe things could have gotten a little different. I don't know. I mean, that's just a speculation. But I do know the final result is it didn't quite go in the Yanks' favor. And, yeah, we're going to talk about what exactly happened. And we're going to break down the whole timeline summary right now. And so, yeah. So in the first minute, Yanks come out pressing, basically, right? As they generally do. They came out pressing right out the gate. They try and test Canada right out the early, but however, they don't really get anything. It's Canada, which will have the first say in the 7th minute. As Matt Turner with a poor goal kick and a little pick and pop between Jonathan David and Kyle Larin. A little pick and pop, give and go. Goes back to Kyle Larin. Kyle Larin dribbles through the Yanks defense, just shreds them like Swiss cheese, and then just buries it past Matt Turner. Many say Matt Turner should have done better, but I don't know. I think this was just a better shot from Kyle Larin. Anyway, who cares? The Rouges go up 1-0 over the USA early. And this is perfect, the dream start for the Canadians. They needed this, right? This was one of the keys to the game. Do not come out slow. Have a good start, right? And so, I mean, for Canada, this was all you could have asked for. For the U.S., you got punched in the mouth. And let's see if you responded. And it looks like you didn't, but we'll go through the game. 19th minute, Christian Pulisic tries to double in and create a chance quickly, but he's quickly smothered for the Canadian defense. He tried to do a little shimmy shuffle inside the box. However, the Canadian defense, give all credibility to the Canadian defense today. The Rouges really stood up on their heads and really defended their home turf, right? Literally on turf. This is being played on turf. But yeah, I'm gonna get into all that at the end. But credibility to the defense here for Canada. Oh my goodness. And then yeah, from basically that point until the 30th minute, the U.S. is just huffing and puffing, and they just can't get anything to go. Canada is just really just doing a good job digging in and preventing them from having these breakaway chances. And in the 31st minute, Canada tries to fire back with a couple of chances of their own. However, the Yanks defense at the time, they do stand up well. Stephen Victoria also in this process picks up a yellow card, and fortunately for him, it's a back-to-back yellow card. He got one last game against Honduras, so that means he'll have to miss the Salvador game, so that's a key figure that Canada's have to go again without. But hey, next man up mentality, right? As I just said with the USA, next man up mentality. You know, injury, suspension, whoever it is, whoever you call up, better be able to live up and fill their shoes. So that's that point. 43rd minute, Christian Pulisic drives in a corner kick into the box. It's headed by Weston McKennie, and what a huge save from hometown hero Milan Borjan from Hamilton with a one-handed pound away by his fist, and just to clear this one away, as Weston McKennie could easily put the USA on the board, and surely this goal could have easily changed the course of the game. You know, this was a huge play by Milan Borjan with the save to keep that, especially to keep the momentum with the Canadians. Because if Weston McKennie would have scored, the pendulum could have probably swung in the U.S.'s way. So, huge save by the hometown hero, Milan Borjan. And wow. And then we get to halftime. Canada's just playing exactly how they were supposed to play to win the game so far. I mean, they're being patient. They're not, trying to be greedy and find goals right now. Instead they're just playing back, waiting to see, they're surveying, and then finally when they have a chance to strike, they do so. And however, the USA just played right into their game plan, right? USA, yeah, sure, they dominated the stats here in the first half, but Canada just dug in on defense and just held down the fortress. And yeah, and yes, it's like halftime, so somebody would say, yeah, gotta remember the USA is a second half team. Will they bounce back? We'll see about that, but yeah, for the most part, Canada just continues to dig in, and will they continue to do so in the second half? We're about to find out. 53rd minute, Kyle Leonard with another pick and pop with David again, swooped across again, but no one's home to finish it. Canada could have taken it 2-0 here. In the 54th minute, shortly after, Tejan Buchanan tries to get in the Dest's head with a little chit chat, and yeah, this game from here on out starts to get chippy as the United States starts to know that they're under pressure, and they're trying to do anything in their power to try and scratch and claw their way back into this. And let's see if this works, and let's see if Canada's strategy of getting in their heads worked. And it looks like one of the two worked. 70th minute, USA tries to play a ball out of the back, which it goes terribly wrong, first of all. Canada pounces on it and takes a shot, saved by Matt Turner, rebounded once again by a Canadian player, saved again by Matt Turner from point blank, and Les Rouges coming up so close once again to go up 2-0. That would have been goal number 2 for Canada. And then at this point, from the 70th minute to the end of the game, the USA just begins to just throw the kitchen sink at them. And, some of the chances were just like half bad and just they really didn't threaten anything. But finally, in the 95th minute, so 5 minutes of stoppage time, the USA's pressing, they're huffing and puffing. Canada drops everybody back. And then once again, the good old Canadian counterattack comes out, and here comes Samuel Adekugbe, and just with a breakaway finish with a dagger, it goes past Matt Turner, not a chance. And the Rouges surely bag all 3 points here, and it's another 2-0 here for Canada and the Rouges in Ontario, and my goodness, just in a different city, that are a few couple kilometers apart. And when I say few, I mean obviously a little bit distance, Hamilton, Toronto. Because last time Canada beat the USA 2-0 in a meaningful game was, of course, in the Nations League 2019 on BMO Field here. And now they do it again at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, Ontario. Coincidental, right? But yeah, into the match, Canada remains unbeaten. 3 points for Canada. 3 points! Canada! And they do it again in Ontario, as I just say. My goodness. By the way, if you don't know where I got that 3 points reference from, that's from one of the college basketball teams down in the States. Illinois basketball. Every time they make a three, their announcer goes 3 points, and I just thought that was catchy. And now I just use it to every team who gets 3 points, specifically Canada and the USA. Canada, USA gets a goose egg though here, so probably not the way they wanted to play, and definitely a rude way to leave Ontario. And then yeah, I mean. Let's just go to the stats and talk about this one in depth. So it's 8 shots to 13. USA had more shots. However, Canada was way more clinical. 4 of the 8 for Canada were on target, 50%, while the USA only had 3 shots on target to 13. Yeah. They did not, in terms of, I'm going to talk about this later, but that's definitely not what they learned from last game. 36% possession, 64% possession. Sure, the USA had more possession. 312 passes completed to 550 passes completed. 67% pass accuracy to 79% pass accuracy. USA. 12 fouls, 15 fouls. This was a chippy game. And at first, it looked like the ref was kind of favoring another side, but then, I don't know. I'm not going to really talk about the ref. You guys two are here to talk about the ref. I'm here to just break down what I saw. No red cards, or before that, 2 yellow cards for Canada, none for the USA, which I thought the ref could have probably handed out a few cards to the USA. There were a couple close moments, but hey, like I said, I'm not going to really criticize the ref here. You guys can do that in the comments if you want. No red cards, though, as I said. 1 offsides apiece, and then 1 corner to 4 corner. USA had more corners. And then, most importantly, let's look at our live stats, standings in CONCACAF. Canada, Les Rouges, remain number 1 with 22 points. They have 6 wins. 4 draws, no losses. The lone unbeaten team in the league right now. USA still in second place as it stands. 5 wins, 3 draws, now 2 losses with 18 points. Mexico still has a game to play later on, but they have 5 wins. They're in third. 5 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, and 17 points. So if they win, they can move up to second. USA will get pushed down to third. And in Panama, somehow, I know they're losing right now as it stands, but if they can turn it around, USA could be in trouble for a 4th place. They'll still be in third, but just like that, things can switch. But they're in 4th with 4 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses, and 14 points. And Costa Rica's in 5th, 3 wins, so they're basically 3 apiece, and 12 points. Jamaica, they're winning right now currently over Panama. 2 wins, as it stands, they would have 2 wins, 4 and 4, 10 points. El Salvador with 7th place with 1 win, 3 draws, and 5 losses, 6 points. And then dead last, Honduras, no wins, 3 draws, 6 losses, and 3 points. Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable. Well, interesting. But what's unbelievable is the result. And in this case, I'm going to start with the losing team. I'm going to start with the USA. In terms of the USA, they obviously didn't really get what they wanted. Nothing really went their way. They tried playing. It was one of those games where they huffed and puffed and just couldn't blow the house down. But Canada, of course, capitalized off their mistakes. I mean, this was just the perfect what the doctor ordered for Canada. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it for the USA. I mean, USA played right into Canada's playbook. Canada was fine with letting the USA have more possession. Same with Mexico. I mean, they did the same thing. They were fine with having Mexico run the stats up, but then Canada just capitalized off their chances and their mistakes. I mean, I don't know what else to say. USA unfortunately, did not learn their lesson from last game. I need some water. But, from the Salvador game, they did not learn their lesson, as obviously the shots weren't clinical. And, as I look at the stats, say 13-3. It was only 3 of those 13 were on target. So, unfortunately, they did not learn the lesson, but Canada just capitalized. I don't know what to say there. And, hey, sometimes you need a loss to wake you up and really get things going, like a reminder. And so, I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, it just... The performance was just decent tonight. I mean, it wasn't up to par. I mean, Christian Pulisic Canada did a good job containing him. He really didn't do anything. Weston McKennie, he had a shot, but of course, hometown hero Milan Borjan came up big, and I mean, Yeah, it's just an unfortunate day for the USA, and they're gonna have to look at this result and just regroup, right? Obviously, they're gonna have to now go to Minnesota and really have to win against Honduras to at least stay top two, maybe top three, depending on Mexico. But I mean, yeah, this was a rude awakening for them. And yes, I know they had Tim Weah out, as I said, and obviously due to vaccine issues. But I mean, as a next man up mentality, Zardes started, which was obviously, as I said, weird for me because I would have rather see Ricardo Pepi or someone else take his spot. As Zardes really hasn't been, hasn't been up to form lately. So that was an interesting take from Greg Berhalter there. But hey, who might have judged? Um, it's just poor performance overall from the USA. They need to regroup and they need to get ready for Honduras in Minnesota. And so they're going to have to regroup. And if they don't, you know, one loss could easily turn to two, and then they could be in the fourth place playoff spot, as the window closes. And yeah, they could be looking at an entirely different story compared to where they started. So yeah, a really, really interesting result. But I mean, I don't know what to say for the U.S. I mean, it just looked lackluster and mediocre tonight. And I wish I had more to say. I wish I just be clinical. They have to be clinical going into Honduras, and this was just a nasty result. And yeah, you can blame the turf. You can blame the other factors without key players, the turf. Canada was dealing with the same thing though. I mean, they had no Davies, they had no Eustachio. They were also playing on turf, so both teams were both dealing with kind of similar issues. However, one just showed up to play when the other one just came out flat. So not really what to say there, but in terms of going to Canada, let's talk about what they did right and what this means for them. I mean, yeah, as I said, this was exactly how they wanted to play. I mean, the U.S. played right into their hands. Canada was fine with just sitting back and just letting the USA attack and just defending and capitalizing off their mistakes on counterattacks, and they did that. I mean, both the goals were given off. I mean, Matt Turner, of course, the first goal was responsible with that poor goal kick, and Kyle Larin and Jonathan David just combining there. And then at the end, Samuel Adekugbe just put it away, kind of like when the hockey, at the end of hockey games, the other team pulls their keeper out. Kind of what the USA did here. They were pulling everybody out to attack. He throw the kitchen sink and just got caught on a counter. Samuel Adekugbe just basically buries the empty netter, although it's Matt Turner back there, so it's not really an empty netter, but in hockey terms, that would be similar to an empty netter, and it's 2-0 at that point. Once again, Canada runs away with this at the end. And, I mean, this is not just a massive 3 points for Canada without missing the key players, right? This is a culture win. And as you've heard other probably professional sports coaches say this is a culture win, Not only is this just a humongous result for Les Rouges, this is a culture win. It's another defining moment in Canadian soccer history where Les Rouges are once again the underdogs, are not expected to, let alone get a tie with the USA. And here they are, come up once again surprising others, and even better yet, surprising haters that say, oh, Canada's not going to win, right? I mean, hey, you got to at some point, you just got to tip your hat to Canada and say, yeah, I mean, they're just looking really, really great right now. And they're on the rise, and things are definitely getting better. By the way, I won't be surprised if Canada moves up again in the FIFA rankings, although the rankings are really they're really meaningless. They're really so they're 40th right now, but I wouldn't be surprised with this win and how they won last game if they move it to like 35th, maybe 32nd. They're quickly climbing, and they're easily showing us why they're the most improved team in the world. And I mean, yeah. And Canada just did everything right. I mean, they were patient, they weren't greedy, and they just played off the USA's mistakes, and they got rewarded for them for the most part. And they earned them all 3 points in Hamilton. And once again, it's like a repeat of 2019. It's this time without Alphonso Davies. By the way, go check out Alphonso Davies' Twitch stream. His reaction to this game was priceless. I mean, it was fun to watch him, and oh my goodness. It's just, his emotion really just shows what this means for the Canadian national team and all Canadian soccer fans. And, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're the USA or even haters, you just got to tip your hat to this team and say, hey, Canada's they're a good team. I mean, they really have all the pieces and they're putting everything together. So, not much we can take away here and judge. So, I mean, yeah. So, really Canada. But yeah, this is a culture win. It's definitely a defining moment in their history. And it's just huge. They needed this for the program. And once again, I mean, for any Canadians that's not on board, you need to get on board with this team. I mean, this team is obviously proving that they can be a World Cup contending team. And for all those who say that's a laughable statement, think again, because I don't know. They said beating the USA and Mexico in the same World Cup qualifying run was laughable. And look, they did that, right? And they even tied and beat them both. And by the way, the USA was, according on paper, Canada's hardest team left in the remaining of the gauntlet. So I'm not saying they should win out all their games, right? Because they have to go 2 other places. But I mean, this is a statement win. It's a culture-defining moment win for Les Rouges. And it's just, I don't know what else you can say. I mean, you can't hate on it. You can't do anything about it, but just tip your hat to it. I mean, this is just big for them. And all Canadians right now should be proud and really should get behind this team and really throw all your support behind this. And if they qualify, I can't wait to see what this team does in Qatar, later this year in the winter. So, yeah, that's my take on the game. And just who would have thought, right? Canada winning over the USA. And my final kind of complaint, this game would have easily gotten more views and watch time, obviously, if they didn't schedule it at the same time during an NFL playoff. Now, I know some U.S. soccer fans are probably happy that this was scheduled during an NFL playoff, as, they would say, wow, good thing I didn't waste my time watching this, right? But at the same time, I mean, it just, in terms of trying to sell the sport in both countries, I mean, why would you schedule it during an NFL playoff season? Even when both Americans and Canadians are they're probably, for the most part, watch American football over soccer. So that's just something that just didn't make sense from CONCACAF. So that's poor planning right there. And next time, don't schedule something during a major event like that, because views are going to be down in reality. I think a lot less Canadians are probably, unfortunately, they're aware that Canada won right now and just made out a huge moment in Canadian history, in soccer history. But yeah, that's poor planning on CONCACAF and whoever plans out the games, right, with the schedules. That's just mind-boggling to me. So going forward, I really, really hope they don't do that and just get more eyes on the game. They could have easily scheduled this game for tomorrow, actually, the Monday game. I don't think it would have conflict with NFL, but hey, that's just my take. I don't know. I'm not part of the committee. I don't make that decision. And I just know, but I can say it was a poor decision. Very, very poor decision. And unfortunately, many Canadians might be in the dark until someone else tells them, or until they look at the news. Say, the Canadians just beat the USA in soccer, which just, once again. So, unfortunately, that's what sucks in that part, but I really don't have anything else to say about that. That was my only rant and only problem with this game. Other than that, this was an enjoyable game to watch. I know for many U.S. fans, this was not, but for Canadian fans, this was. And as a neutral, I just like seeing both play. However, unfortunately, the USA didn't really live up to expectations, but Canada just played better. So once again, you just got to tip all your hats to them. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for this game. Just Canada's unbeaten. And for all the haters out there, you really, really at some point, you just need to tip your hat to them. Come on, Canada's winning without key players and all that, and they're just doing everything. I mean, they're really proving everybody wrong. They're showing the world why they're improved. So that's that point. I hope you guys like this neutral video. And yeah, Canada, in terms of a quick summary, Canada just needs to take this momentum going into the next game against El Salvador. And USA needs to bounce back against Honduras, so we'll see what they do. But if you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And final reminder, we are on the road to 100 subs. I think it's still 97, 94, or well, this video is going to be 94. So will I make 100 videos for that, or will I get 100 subs? Who knows? But either way, I'm going to be happy either way, both for a milestone, as this channel is only 6 months, or actually it's like 8 months now old, so yeah, we're getting there, and just really happy with all the progress that we made. But tell all your friends about this win, Tell them that the Rouges do it once again in Ontario over the United States, 2-0 in a meaningful game.